Chris, I was just thinking about this, and it's 2025. Can you believe it?
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was actually, I was thinking back, I was looking back on some statistics, and I ended up pulling up some stats of the last 25 years, because we're a quarter of the millennia already through the way in this new century. So in 2000, United Way of Greater Waterbury supported 21 agencies, and they now support over 50. That's crazy. In 25 years, there have been 13 board members, 36 campaign chairs and co-chairs, 25 campaigns raising a total of over $95 million. Since the turn of the century, they've moved the location 3 times, so if you haven't seen the new one, be sure to check it out. They've navigated a recession and a COVID response. In 2000, there was no social media, no podcasts, no real website. And now they have all that and more. And Chris?
What?
Do you know what's been the constant through all of it?
Oh, I think I do know. The woman who has been the guiding light of this organization.
The consistent leadership of Kristen Jacoby, who celebrated 25 years as of April 12th. Give her a round of applause. And now if I could get Jim Smith and Adrienne to come up on stage to share a few words on this incredible milestone. Are you surprised?
Constantine, you are absolutely amazing. Is he not unbelievable?
I'm just having fun.
Yeah, and you know what? The only thing you can do better than ad-libbing so beautifully on stage is perform, and we sure hope we're going to get a couple of songs out of you tonight.
We might find out.
Yeah, maybe we could. And by the way, I'm sorry, yes, milady, and before you go too far, would you just share one thing with us? I'd like for the audience to see the inside of your jacket.
Oh, the inside of the
jacket.
jacket.
It is so beautiful.
It matches, it's great. It's so scripted.
Isn't that great?
That's custom made, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway,
that is custom
I'll be
made.
right over here.
Thank you. You're awesome. Chris, you're absolutely awesome. Isn't this fantastic? A little surprise. First, I just want to say welcome to everybody and thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for your enduring generosity and support of United Way's mission to mobilize the caring power of the community to advance the common good. That's what we do together. It's so extraordinary. So thank you all. And I'm so delighted to have an opportunity to say a couple of words about Kristen Jacoby, who's been our relentlessly positive leader for 25 years. It's kind of amazing. The first thing I want to say is that I know that she was completely surprised. Because while we were having dinner, she leaned over to me and said, "Did you know that I've been here 25 years?" I said to myself, "We got you." I do have to tell you that the board had planned to have a little celebration for you 5 years ago, but it happened to be during the pandemic. And so they had to cancel the meeting, unfortunately, which is one of the very few in history that ever was canceled. And so here we are 5 years later, Kristen, on 25. And I also want to tell you the reason it had to be a surprise is because we all know Kristen pretty well, and if the board decided that if Kristen knew that she would say absolutely not. So the board and the staff went around her back and did this so that we could have a couple of minutes to honor her. And this brief moment, Kristen, we want you to know this is about you. Because what you're going to say is, no, it's not me, it's the board, it's my staff, it's the volunteers, it's the campaign coordinators. Does this sound like her? It's not me, it's not me. Well, for this moment, it is about you. And we all want to take a minute and celebrate what you've done as our leader for 25 years, the longest serving leader in United Way history. So I kind of remember a lot of this because I've been here for 50 years in one capacity or another, and I was so excited when you arrived in the year 2000 because you succeeded Roger Malici, who many of us here know was a wonderful, wonderful leader himself. And I knew you were well qualified for the position because I understand there were 100 candidates that applied for this position. And so you had to have all the skills and all, but you had to have some things that maybe were a little bit intangible, which is what we think makes you so extra special, like a congeniality, an upbeat nature, a genuine sense of goodness in your aura that attracts people to you, to want to work with you, to get good things done. That's who you are. Another element is that I used to think that my sister Maggie could say more words in a minute than any person on earth. Well, I was wrong. Kristen, she got that for sure. And I also know, as part of the reason that so many of us are here tonight, is that if you volunteer to work with Kristen, you're not just volunteering once, you're volunteering for life. And there are so many people here that are a testament to that, and that's a tribute to you, Kristen, for sure. So I just want to take a minute and talk about my experience directly with her through the Webster campaign, for example. And Kathy Luria, who's here tonight and works with me at the Harold Webster Smith Foundation, was part of the glue of that campaign. But Kristen understood that if you want to have a good campaign, you've got to get involved in it. And she wanted to revise some of the practices and make sure that everybody knew what the best practices were and that they would honor those best practices because they'd have better campaigns. They would exhibit their commitment to the community. So she went on almost all the campaign calls. And for, 25 years now, she's participated in every kickoff meeting at a Webster campaign, period. I'd be talking to Kathy Luria, this is, 10, 15 years ago. Well, she said, I saw Kristen in Stamford today, or in Hartford, or in Boston, or wherever it was, she was always there. She even won the United Way Webster-sponsored golf tournament. But she cared. She cared so much that she was there all the time. And actually, that earned her and United Way the undying respect of Webster, such that they became the aggregator and distributor of all the funds raised across the entire franchise. But I got to know her well, and I knew how much she cared and how real she was. And I've seen over the years how people tend to rally around her. So I think that careers, and leaders, and organizations are defined by how they respond in times of crisis and how the organization evolves as a result of that. And surely, Kristen has had a lot of crises. We were in the middle of the dot-com bust about the time she got here, and then we had the 9/11 recession. When she walked in, actually, the top 3 positions were vacant. She had to fill those positions, and then by 9/11, it was a whole different story. And everybody had to regroup. And then that followed a few years later by the Great Recession. And then we had the pandemic in 2020. And I'm not going to go through all the details of it, but what I saw in every case was the way that United Way was in there immediately and pulled all the organizations that were the agencies together, and the community responded as one. And a lot of that was because of the work that was done by Kristen and those agencies and the programs that they support that came together because they would not let their community down. I'll never forget the vigil in Library Park a month after 9/11. And everyone holding hands, all the agency leaders holding hands. You know what happens? If something bad happens, you can call on them. You don't have to develop a relationship. You can respond in total together at the time. And that was the sinew that she built as a result of the way that she led the organization. I remember in the Great Recession, it was the Neighborhood Now community. It was furloughs, no layoffs, but we will always be there for our team, and being sensitive to the needs of the community. I remember in the pandemic that was so extraordinary, it was all hands on deck. Immediately in a review with the Connecticut Community Foundation, and $700,000 appears to support companies and organizations in peril so that they could get through this somehow. The feeling of empathy that we see within our United Way is absolutely extraordinary, and in my opinion is a reflection of your personality. So just one more point that I want to make is what I learned from Kristen was that missions evolve and strategies change, even as the values endure. And I was always the one to say, well, United Way is the most efficient, effective way to support the safety net of community services, to provide an opportunity for those with less to live with dignity and have the opportunity to realize their dreams, unquote. And Kristen, very polite, without ever saying it, reminded me that that was sort of a last century thing, that we actually had evolved and that we were no longer about gathering and then allocating funds, that we were much more than that. We were a convener, we were a thought leader, we were a funder, we were a grant writer, we were bringing the community together in support of programs that will make a difference on behalf of the community. That's one of the lessons that I learned. That's how I got the mission right tonight at the top, Kristen. Thank you. Another thing was that she saw the trend, which was that corporations weren't as flush as they used to be. They weren't going to be around as long as they were. They weren't able to support United Way at the same rate that they were in the past. And we'd begun a program in leadership giving. We had just begun the Alexis de Tocqueville Society, and Andrew Skip remembers this well, and Joel Becker and Nancy, because we toiled together, and Dan Lever to make this work. But when Kristen came on the scene, she was everywhere all the time. And she was there and went to every single meeting, pulled people together, made all the calls, set up all the organizations. And today I think there's 80 people who are giving at a level of $10,000 a year or more. And think about this. If you don't evolve, you die. And the United Way has evolved under her leadership because she understood these things and made them happen. And today, more than 50% of the campaign comes from leadership giving. Whereas back in 2000, it was like 6%. Absolutely extraordinary. And then the final thing I want to say is that United Way is about community. It is about mobilizing that caring power and putting definition to that and realizing what it really means and bringing those people together so that every time there is a crisis or a calamity, we respond. And the local response in all of these areas that I'm talking about was much swifter than any national response. Even though they would funnel national funds through us, it was the local element that made the difference. And so every time as you go through a crisis, you get stronger. You're better ready for the next one. You can respond more quickly and more completely in the interest of your community. And so, Kristen, just for a moment, we want you to know that we know that you did this. And we love you for it, and we appreciate you. And we thank you for giving yourself, so much of yourself, to our community, and for having the heart to do that, to make us a better place. Thank you.
And thank you, Jim. You're absolutely right, Kristen. If we had told you any of this, the first thing you would have did was say, no, it's not about me. But that's what great leaders do. Because great leaders never set out to be leaders, they set out to make a difference. And that's what you do. When you use the 25 years, what is 25? In numerology, it means balance and harmony. So when you talk about all those things that you've weathered, all those storms, you've done that, you've kept balance and harmony. You are a true leader, or a woman of compassion. And I think that's the thing that has helped with that longevity and being so well respected, because you care. There are so many leaders that just go in and do a job. But you do what's your calling, and your calling is to be of service to others, and to be in the trenches, and to really, really make sure that services are given to those that need the service. And we love you for it. All of these people here know exactly what you do on a daily basis. Your staff knows it. And we love you for it. And on behalf of the board and former board chairs, even Mark Casey out there, is he still here? You are a remarkable leader. Never doubt yourself. Never, ever doubt yourself that you are making a difference, because you have, because thousands of people are in a different place in their life because of you. And for whatever you do for the rest of your time, just know you've made a difference in the lives of so many. And we appreciate you. This community loves you. Keep doing what you're doing, because that's what life is all about. It's not about any of us. It's about what we do for others. So thank you, Kristen. Congratulations on 25. And we look for 25 more. Can we get 25 more?
All right. Come on up, Kristen. We have a 25 plaque and some flowers. Kristen, This isn't the only surprise. Hold on. Get a photo. Kristen, you've been wanting something to happen every year at the awards. I'm going to let you all know, this gets really loud. Fire in the hole! Woohoo! You get bigger ones at 50 years. Congratulations, Kristen. And folks, we have more excitement like that throughout our program, so sit back, relax. We'll be right back after this commercial break featuring our Platinum Premier sponsor, Webster Bank.